Hey, what's up everyone? It's Dolbeck today with a 25 kill capture the flag game and a nice build guide into it. So this build got a huge buff. Seriously, it's kinda insane. Now the Great Axe scale of strength and intel, and the Blunderbuss scale of strength and intel too. So they're gonna pair even better together. And now with the new offense slot that you're gonna be able to put on your armor, you're gonna be able to get some enchanted stack, keenly empower and all that stuff. And then you're gonna be able to even slot some skill slot onto your weapon that could make it even better. So tell me, what skill slot would you put on your weapon, and let's get straight into it. So you will see I just leveled up this character and I started to play on it, so I still have some old gear, but even then, we know what to upgrade now with all those changes, so I'm gonna be able to show you what's my gear, what I can do better with the new update, and what I found about it. So this is a pestilence build. I added a stack of keenly empower onto it because keenly empower gonna proc on my great axe even if it's on my blunderbuss. So if I hit with my great axe and I hit the crit, I'm gonna proc the keenly empower, and even if my crit chance is low, the blunderbuss throw a lot of pellet and one of those have the chance to proc it. So you want at least one stack of keenly empower. It's max one stack, so you want one stack of that on your wall build. Then this is the Great Axe the Chopper from the wheel. Now you can probably get a double attunement Great Axe or something like that. There's some new perk. Tell me which Great Axe you want. For me, I used this because I already had it, and it's gonna be pretty hard to get one better. It's gonna take a bit of time, a couple chest run and stuff like that. But I think that, like, if you go all DPS, like 3 attunement, stuff like that, that could be pretty good. And then there could be, uh, with the crippling reap, you can have it as a charm or a weapon perk on your great axe. And then there's gonna be the charge perk that could be good with it. As you can see, I got refreshing charge right there on my pants, so you can have refreshing charge on your item, and then you can have the charm for the charge that is a different perk. So those together I think gonna pair well, and by having the charge on your great axe, that could be beneficial for the damage, but maybe you're gonna lose some damage if you don't really use your charge offensively. Maybe having like 3 attunement and stuff like that could be better for you. Right now I just hit 25 kill with this right there, so I think this great axe is still very good, and it was not even 800. So imagine if all my gear was 800, I would be slapping people right there. So on this amulet right there, the thing to remember is the trust protection. There's a lot of bow user right now because they changed how bow work. So I think that trust protection is back. And then you could have an amulet with 3 protection, like trust, slash, and fire protection. With that, you're gonna cover fire staff, the slash, there's a lot of slash user. You see I have a great axe, there's sword and shield. So trust, fire, and slash protection. Then the other gonna be like infix or defensive slot, offensive slot, or skill slot. But you don't want too many skill slot, and you will see why. There is the exhaustive net shot right there, that is pretty good. This piece, seriously, it's gonna be hard to swap. There's the old enchanted ward right there that give me more enchanted ward, and dropping those gonna be pretty hard because this piece. You see, it's almost like a best in slot. The only way that I can kind of make it better is by going for 800 piece, because I cannot upgrade this item. You see, it need to be 700 plus. So when I'm gonna upgrade it, it's probably gonna be a charm instead of enchanted ward, and then I'm gonna have maybe some freedom or 2 conditioning with exhaustive net shot. We'll see. And then this chest piece is gonna probably be the easiest to swap, but the hasted vigor and the refreshing stack are hard to drop. Seriously, I think that when I'm gonna swap chest piece, I'm gonna go for something like that, but with hasted vigor. You see, like lifestealer drought, the hasted vigor, and then 1 conditioning or mortal aggression, and then some offense and defensive slot, just depending on what I need. But I think that adding 1 lifestealer drought in your build and 1 hasted vigor gonna make a big difference. And then you see those pieces once again, really hard to swap. I got the shirking heal that is still pretty decent. And then in the enchanted ward and refreshing, you cannot have the refreshing from the charm, and that enchanted ward worth double than the enchanted ward that you get from the charm. And then I already showed this piece, but I'm gonna tell you what I would change. Maybe the health stack over there could be something else, like the freedom or conditioning. Like right now, like I said, trust conditioning, slash conditioning, or fire. The 3 are pretty good, so I would go for that. And then you see, instead of wellness, having a charm slot could be better too. The tumbler feet trap are still very good. I decided to keep the physical aversion because there's a lot of bow user, but maybe it's gonna swap to elemental aversion soon in this season, because you know people are gonna discover new builds, stuff like that. They're gonna be maybe playing less with the bow, so I just keep it there because it was cheaper for me like this. And at the end I found out that it's a good choice, because like I said, the bow user, the blunderbuss user, they hit kinda hard right now. You can see that I have the punishing gem to make the melee hit harder, because I kinda main the great axe in this build. You can probably put the gem to make ranged attack it harder for your blunderbuss, or go with elemental, but punishing for me is what worked the best. I hit the word record with this build once with the punishing gem, and I hit it again, the 25 kill, so it's amazing. Then you have a shirking energy built in the tumbler. It's an amazing perk right there. And then shirking blessing, you know, the thing coming from the tumbler. Amazing. And then for the ring, there is a couple viable option. I wanted to go with this because this was the one that I already had, and it's mostly just damage perk, and I think that was far enough. It's gonna be hard to change. Once again, I'm gonna have to probably do a lot of stuff just to get another one. Seriously, Gameblade energy is like an empower that counts toward the empower cap. It's very good for the blunderbuss. Keen, once again, very good for the blunderbuss too, because there's not a lot of critical chance built into it. And then invigorated punishment, amazing perk. Wellness is not that much a waste. Maybe I could get something better than that. I know that there's some new perk on the ring, and there's some new infix. You can tell me which ring you guys want instead of that. For me, this is a good starter, but I'm well aware that there's maybe better. I still got 25 kill with it though. And then I use the Blood Drinker with the Enchanted Ward stack, and you know, empowering toes, fortifying toes. This earring is amazing. You just gotta feed on regen potion most of the time, and accept that you gotta use regen potion as much as you can, and try to ignore your health potion. I used Stone Form right there. I could use the Leeching Dark Ascent or the Detonate. I know that there's a new heartrune to the spinning thing that I'm gonna need to try to, but Leeching Dark Ascent for this type of gameplay could be the best option. Still, Stoneform does the job. I like it. And then for the attribute, I go 200 con with the roasted rabbit. You see, you hit 152, you eat a roasted rabbit, bang, 200 con. And then for the scaling, I get to 150 intel and the rest in strength. You're gonna see that the perk that you get by going to 50 plus is not huge. So you better go for scaling, and the blunderbuss and the great axe gonna scale better of strength. In the past it was 350 strength, 50 int and 200 con, but right now it kinda changed. You can still try this, maybe you're gonna like it more, but I don't think so. For the weapon mastery, I go with unload because I like burst. And then there's a bit of everything in this build. You see some cooldown reduction. There's some fortified there and there, right there. So it's pretty good for the survive and the damage. And you just gotta remember to, when you throw a Azab Shrapnel, it throw a bomb onto the ground at your feet. So it does some nice DPS, and you can split the splitting grenade where you want. Look, I'm gonna split it in the air now. You see, and then the other bomb that drop onto the ground. So use that at your advantage. You got some nice disease from the blunderbuss right there, and a 8% damage buff on the disease target, but it's not on both weapons. Still, your Great Axe gonna do amazing DPS. You know, Great Axe is insane nowadays. So for the offensive charm, I'ma start with the offensive charm and then go with the defensive. For the offensive charm, you want one keenly empower, like I say right there. You want some vicious stack and enchanted stack. The Great Axe and the blunderbuss, they both pair really well with enchanted, so having a bunch of enchanted charm could be really good with this build. And then the vicious and keen, just make sure that you have a good decent crit chance to be able to crit enough, because right now if you look, the blunderbuss only have 6% critical chance built in. So if you build only into vicious, you're gonna probably lack power. So this is why I recommend to go more for enchanted at the start, and maybe even the charm that make your ability hit harder, like 5 stack of enchanted, then you fill with the other charm that make your ability hit harder. And then for the defensive charm, it's not too hard. You go with Enchanted Ward and Elemental Aversion. I think both are very strong right now. And if you think that the range player do too many damage for you, then you can go for a bit of physical aversion. And then having one keenly fortify in all your gear could be a nice upgrade, and maybe even a bit of lifesteal. But this is not a lifestealing build, it's more built around burst. Your blunderbuss is still far from the empower cap. Having some trust harnessing or some trust damage on your ring could be beneficial. And freedom is still very good too, or shirking heal, but it's your choice at this point to build around. I might go for shirking heal and enchanted ward a bit more, but I'm still not 100% sure about it, because elemental aversion and physical aversion are still amazing perk, and you still need the 1 stack of keenly fortify, 1 stack of hasted vigor, and 1 stack of Kenyan power. on this, I want you guys to tell me what are you thinking, what I can do to improve this build to make it even better. I need everyone's opinion so we can all move forward and create the perfect build. The meta is still changing, and right now I think that I made a really nice build. You see 25 kill and capture the flag. Usually when you manage to do that, it's because the build is great, but I did it with some old piece that can be better, and I was not even 800 gear score, so maybe one day I'ma reach a 30 kill game CTF. Pray for me. Almost forgot to tell you, but what's kinda important to know is the combo. To throw your attack really fast with the blunderbuss, you're gonna do a light attack into a ability, and it work for each one of the ability. I would recommend to do it with the Azot Shrapnel Blast and with the Splitting Grenade, but you can do it with the net shot too. And then with the Great Axe, you can do 1, 2, 3 light attack into the people. It's gonna give you some empower stack because you have some empower stack built in your Great Axe. It's 5% per stack, can stack up 3 times. So you do your 2 light attack into an ability, and boom, you did big damage. And it worked once again with each one of your ability. So on this, I want to thank everyone for watching my content. I wish you a good day. Peace out. It's the final countdown. Alright, so yeah, I need to go for the entrance rates. It's like now in a couple minutes.